with this 9 to 5, but I know it's people inside of lives. My salary dope and on hold, and I hope that'll rise. I'm working this gig that doesn't feed my ambition. Updating resumes, searching for a transition, but I'm not corporate. That's hikey like a core progress. I'm staring at the screen, but that's not what.
What's going on, everybody? I hope you had an amazing start to your summer, and I do want to congratulate the class of 2021 again for your accomplishments. Continue to excel and do great things. Now, I do want to apologize for my absence, but I hope to make it up for you on this episode 8 of 9 to 5 Minds. On this episode, we're going to talk about what it takes to be an entrepreneur. Many of us talk about, oh, I don't want to work a 9 to 5, or I don't want to work for somebody, but we don't know what it takes. My man Ty is going to break it down for us. He works a 9 to 5, and he's the CEO and founder of his own record label. Check it out.
What's up, y'all? I'm Ty. I'm a recording artist, audio engineer, and the CEO and founder of the record label God Vision. I want to shout out to my brother Dev for bringing me on for this episode. We'll be talking about my journey maneuvering through the music industry while still maintaining a 9 to 5 job. I hope to give y'all some insight on what I go through as a creator, entrepreneur, and business owner trying to achieve my dreams.
Hey, bro, I really appreciate you doing this with me, bro, for real. Hey, remember, Monday, June 21st at 7 p.m., episode 8 of Doubt of Success, 9 to 5 Minds. And remember, we build, we create, we inspire.
Make sure y'all pull up. Tell the kids to go be whatever they want. It ain't impossible if you under the sun. Yeah, this the same shit I'ma tell my son. One life, so do it right the first take. All these decades grinding could lead to your first day. Keep going.
Keep going. That's right. Keep going. All right, so now I'm going to bring in my man Tyrell Thomas. We've been going at it for some years now. CEO, founder, God Vision, artist. What's good, bro?
What's good, Brody?
How you feeling, man?
I'm all right, bro. Just chilling, working, grinding, you know me.
Yeah. Love to hear it. But thank you, bro. I appreciate you for doing this for us today. This is a topic that a lot of us, been hearing about, been thinking about ourselves, 9 to 5, what that really means, what that entails, wanting to be in business for ourselves. But before we get into any of that, let's talk about you, man. So tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do. Give us some background. Let's go way back,
All right, well, that's a bet. I'm Tyrell Thomas, aka Ty Tom, the God. I'm an artist, audio engineer, record label owner, business owner, entrepreneur, all that. I've been doing the music for probably 6 years, going on 6 years now. So I've been grinding with that for the past, half a decade, trying to get everything straightened out with this. Now recently, I was in property management as soon as I got out of school. So I kind of been maneuvering that and balancing the two. So working a 9 to 5 and being a business owner, the whole grind with that. So yeah.
And I appreciate that. I appreciate you for that intro, man. Hey, just to let you know, everybody in the audience, feel free, if you do have questions, please utilize the chat function. I'll be looking throughout the episode to make sure that your questions get answered, because we're definitely going to dive into an amazing topic. We're also on IG Live too, so we may have some questions from IG Live as well. But Ty, let's just kind of dig back into the background, where it all started. Growing up. Tell us what it was like for you growing up, maybe a couple schools you went to, maybe some sports, just kind of what it was like for you as a kid.
And growing up, I had a pretty good childhood. I mean, Black household in PG County. Lived with both my parents. I got 2 little brothers. I hooped my whole life, so I hooped in college, obviously with you. But even in high school, I went to Gonzaga, played basketball there, the whole 9 yards. So
yeah,
it was cool growing up, man. I had a pretty good childhood, pretty good experience, you know what I'm saying? Especially growing up out here, you see a lot of Black excellence in PG County. So I think that's something that we take for granted a lot. You don't see a lot of successful Black people come out in one area like how you do here. So I'm always grateful, being from this area.
For sure. And growing up in this area, what is it? What did you look up to? What did you look forward to? What is something that you wanted to be growing up?
I mean, shoot, every kid from around our way, want to grow up and be an NBA player, NFL player, But I mean, I was into other stuff. I know being a kid, I wanted to be an architect at one point, wanted to screenwrite movies, be an actor, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But I say I'm pretty, right now, I'm pretty much doing what I always wanted to do in the back of my mind. I know as a kid, music was something that was really prevalent in my household, My grandfather, he was a drummer. He drummed for James Brown. My dad's a DJ. You know, you seen him. He got the crates in the garage and all that. My little brother a DJ. You know what I'm saying? We got a really musically inclined family. So I think that was something that was bound to happen for me. I had this idea what I'll be doing part of my head since I was like 11. I wrote it. This is the first thing I wrote down, like that I wanted to be, was a musician or artist.
Well, really. I didn't know that. I didn't know that your grandfather was a drummer for. You said James Brown, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's new information for me.
Mm-hmm.
But that's great, bro. Like when you know, obviously we met when we went to. Actually, when I went on my visit to Wesleyan, you were the first person that I met.
Facts.
I'll never forget, man. I went to accounting with you, and you just looked so miserable. School just was not it for you at that time. But we definitely had a great time in college, and hearing your music and seeing you grow from college to now doing your thing. But when you were graduating, were you thinking about this was something that you're gonna do full time? Like, was this like right when you got out of college, like, all right, I'm dropping everything, I'm not even gonna get a job. I'm gonna go ahead and just, be an artist.
Well, I think coming out of school, music was something I definitely wanted to do full time, and pursue. But at the same time, you gotta be realistic in where you at, and just financial situation. So I ended up getting a job in property management. I say I graduated 2018, so I say fall 2018 I landed a job, like a regular 9-to-5 job doing that. But I was still doing music like full time, pretty much while balancing that, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, even throughout school, like I was making albums and just recording all the time. When I got out of school, I was able to. The biggest thing for me coming out of school was being able to fund for what I want to do. So I mean, that was one of the reasons why I did get a 9-to-5 and like kind of go in that lane, so I can like use that money to fund for my actual dream. And with that, I mean, just being consistent for real and just chasing it and putting your money and investing in yourself. So I mean, that's what I was really using like my 9-to-5 for.
Right. Yeah. And a lot of people, they have this dream and things that they want to do, whatever, when they're fresh out of school or maybe not even go to school and think, oh, like it's instant oatmeal, like it's supposed to happen that way. Oh, I'm gonna have this, I'm gonna have that. And not everybody comes from a situation where it's just money to fulfill, that dream. Like it takes money to make money. I'm sure we've all heard that. That is true. That's not any, false advertisement. Like that is really true. Like it takes money to make money. And I'm glad you said that. That's the reason why you got that 9-to-5 job, was to fund what you really want to do. And, let's talk about what a 9-to-5 entails. I mean, some of the things that I have is, you're working for someone else, right? You clock in at 9, you clock out at 5. It doesn't really have to be 9 to 5. That's just the typical, during the day job, but it's, 8-hour shift, 2 to 3 weeks paid vacation a year. So if my math is correct, you got 260 work days, 52 times 5, 52 weeks in the year. But, you ain't got to credit me for that. And this is not including holidays and your leave. So, the work environment creates, high pressure to perform, stress, but it's also stable pay depending on whether, it's base pay or commission. And then you got that 401k / retirement. Is that about right? Do I have it, down?
Yeah, you spot on, bro. You spot on.
Spot on. So how was that, or is that for you, working at 9 to 5? What does that look like for you? What's your attitude towards it? Or what has your attitude been when you first started versus, I guess, how you look at it now?
So I can give you two different experiences. I can give you like the first job I ever worked and then the one I did after that. So the first job I ever worked, now all these are in the same field, property management. But the first job I ever worked, I would say it was pretty intense going in. I think it's a new environment for me, you know what I'm saying? Especially someone coming out of college with a degree, graduating, you kind of trying to figure your way around and like understand that whole corporate world. And like it can be difficult and overwhelming sometimes. I think that's what I went through with my first job. It was cool pay. I wouldn't necessarily say I liked all the way what I was doing, or like, I'm not even gonna say what I was doing, but I guess who I was working with. Right. And, the environment for me, I guess, was a little bit toxic, you know what I'm saying? So like, I did face a lot of challenges like that first year. like working in corporate America, just manager stuff and like kind of getting adjusted to being out of school. You know, it's just a whole different world. When you outside of college, college is a real unique like experience because out here, man, don't nobody care about you. Like you another number to a lot of these companies. Granted, you do come across some good companies that you will work for. That's kind of segueing me into the next company I was working for, which was way better experience. Same amount of pay. Crazy environment, but I rock with everybody I work with, so it made work a little bit easier. It made my attitude a little bit more positive going into work every day. You know, it wasn't something I didn't feel heavy going into work every day. You know, but yeah, I mean, I rock with everybody I work with for my second job. Everybody was cool. Some of those people I'm gonna be cool with for the rest of my life. You know, I consider them family now. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much my experience. I mean, you know, you deal with a lot of stuff in corporate America, that dealing with a lot of personalities, different types of people, and you know, you gotta you gotta be docile. You gotta, you know, listen to whatever your manager's saying, or you know, understand and try to, you know, do all that stuff. Just the typical stuff, you know.
Yeah, and so, you know, while we're here, is the title is called 9 to 5 Mind. So basically, it's like the mindset of I guess society now when it comes to 9 to 5 jobs, especially, you know, our generation. You know, within this last year, probably last year to 2 years, you hear, oh, I'm not trying to work a 9 to 5, or I want to work for myself. I want to be this. I want to be that. And it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with being an entrepreneur. That's the goal. You know what I'm saying? But there is, you know, what I call there's sad truths and tough, what I'm going to call tough truths or tough pills to swallow, which we're going to get into in a little bit. But just to talk about the common themes of society right now, why I decided to do the episode and title it 9 to 5 Minds. So we often hear, you know, obviously work for yourself, right? Don't give your life to a job. You give them 30 years of your life and they'll just replace you. You're not going to be truly happy until you make your own decisions about when you work. And then it's the comment, I hate my job. But this is for, you know, my athletes out there. Appreciate everybody on IG Live. If you do have questions, please put them in your comment section. I'll definitely make sure that we get to answer those as well. But back to what I was saying, for my athletes out there, there's always been, you know, a particular workout or exercise that you hate. But doesn't it make you better? Don't you see the progress? Like me, for instance, running. I'm not a runner, but I play basketball. That makes no sense, right?
Thanks.
I run 6 to 8 miles a game, you know, but
yeah,
like I'm playing a running sport, but I hate running. But running, you know, gets you in shape. And then for everybody who grew up, you know, a lot of us grew up, well, most of us grew up with parents or some type of guardian. But there was always something you couldn't stand about them or something that they told you, right? But
yeah.
I'm pretty sure all of us can say when we got older, we understood that one thing that we always used to hate hearing mom or dad say, or whoever raised us, was like, bro, why are you always on my line? Like, why are you always saying this? But when we get older, we understand. And I just say that to say we all been through something or did something we didn't like that was necessary for a greater purpose. And I think that's kind of how we have to tweak, you know, the 9 to 5 mind, because the thinking about a 9 to 5 job is like, okay, I want my own business, right? I want to be my own entrepreneur, but what does that look like? How will you know how to run a business without being a part of one, right? And there's some people who are able to do so without even, you know, without even working a 9 to 5, and that's great. But just the mindset of saying, oh, I'm not doing this, and not even knowing the steps is amazing to me. I mean, how do you feel about society right now and the thoughts that come across and the things people say about, you know, job searching or just what you want to do?
I think it's a balance for real. So like I know I'm guilty of it. Like I go into work saying, I hate my job, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. But I think my father told me sometimes you got to do a little bit of what you don't want to do to get to where you want to go, you know? So I think it's really a balance of just working and always seeing the end goal and the light at the tunnel, you know? I mean, and just knowing your work's not going in vain. You're not doing everything, you know what I'm saying, for no purpose or no reason. That's the biggest thing I took out of it, you know, with my whole journey. Just working, constantly working, never giving up, no matter how tough a day might be. You know, how much you want to go home, you know what I'm saying? You gotta just stick to the grind. Everybody's path is different too. I think a lot of times, even with society, like, especially our generation, we kind of compare ourselves, just even with social media and all that, you know what I'm saying? People might portray that they have a good, I guess, not good life, but I guess a good situation. And that can kind of, you know, cause a little bit of like discomfort for other people trying to figure out themselves, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's something that really plays into like that whole scope and just like the whole image of like what success looks like and like how to do it and like who's being successful doing what. I guess a lot of comparing and contrasting like in today's realm, like with our generation, you know what I'm saying? I think it's hard for people to kind of stay on their own path and like really worry about what they got going on. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's lane is different. You're not gonna be in the same lane with everybody else. Your journey gonna be a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's isn't the same. Like it's just different. Like you got run your race.
For sure. And I know you're gonna appreciate this bar. I heard it today. I don't know if you can name this rapper. You probably can. But it says Mike didn't try to rap like Pop.
Pac never tried to sing like Mike. Those my dad's words to me when he said, "Come on, bro, it's Drake."
It's Drake. I heard this today, and it's you just said it, right? He hit the nail right on the head. Everybody's journey is not the same. And so I got caught up in that too within this past year. Oh, if you're not an entrepreneur, if you're not, you know, working to be financially free, or if you're working a 9 to 5, you're not gonna attain this, that, and the third. But it's like, what is that? What
Some of the most like some of the most successful people have had day jobs. You know what I mean? Like, there's not people are very fortunate to like reach their dreams early on. You know what I'm saying? This is really a grind, and that's what people don't understand. Like, this stuff is hard. It is not meant to be easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. So I think like even with, you know what I'm saying, just careers and all that, like run your own race. Like you need the blinders on, you need the tunnel vision, run your own race. Like you can't compare yourself to everybody. Like it's to me, it's that simple. Like, I mean, I get caught up in it too, you know, comparing myself a little bit just to like people I know. But I think ultimately, like, man, what I'm doing, like everybody, you know what I'm saying, isn't gonna be doing. Like I'm not doing something regular, you know what I mean? So I've kind of accepted the fact that I'm on a path less traveled. And a lot of times I gotta trust my own judgment, or like even with people like that might be in my specific realm of work or like in that industry, like I can get insight from them. But you know, I think, you know what I'm saying? That's like a lot of this stuff in today's world is just crazy. Like with people, like with social media, you know, it's just crazy. Like it just baffles me sometimes, bro. Like I don't.
And aside from social media, let's talk about, you know, we hear this all the time, and it's like, oh, he wants to be a rapper, or another SoundCloud rapper, another this, another that. When you decided that you wanted to take, you know, this talent of yours and this vision of yours and go in deep with it, like what was the criticism that you got? Like from who? Maybe family, maybe friends, and how did you deal with that?
Early on, I remember people saying like, "Bro, you rap now? Like you hoop? Like you ain't no rapper? Like you can't be no rapper. You play basketball." That was what I was getting early on. Just from people I know, and to be honest, like starting off, like looking back at it when I compare myself, like now in 2021 at 25 years old versus when I started like recording seriously at like 18, like it was not like 19, 20, like I can understand why people was like, bro, you're a tripping trying to rap, bro. I get it. But I think a lot of this stuff too, like skill wise and all that, like you gotta grind. It's like anything. It's like basketball. Jump shot not gonna get better if you don't work on it. The pen not gonna get better if you don't work on it. So I was recording every day. I've been recording every day for the past 6 years. 6 years now, pretty much. So I mean, that's like getting up 1,000 shots a day. So I mean, early on, like with like dealing with criticism, I kind of just blocked out all the noise for real. I mean, I still get criticism now. I mean, it's still people that don't all the way believe in me, but if you don't believe in yourself, then how do you expect other people to believe in you? You know what I'm saying? And like, you gotta have like, you low-key gotta have like a delusional confidence about like whatever you're doing. Like you got to think you're that good in order to like hit peaks. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's like the biggest thing for me, like just blocking out all the noise and like I don't really care about what other people got to say about me. You can call me whatever you want. Like I know how I feel about myself. I know what I am. I'm secure with myself. So like I'm not out here trying to impress anybody. That's my biggest thing too. I think a lot of people try to impress others. You know what I'm saying? They're always worried about what other people think. Like I'm not worried someone that's worried about what other people think all the time. You know. So I mean, I'm human. It get to me. But then at the same time, I always have those moments where I snap back. I'm like, all right, come on, bro. Like, nah, you can't fold. Nah. So that's
a fact. We got a comment in the chat from Quentin, Big GV. So shout out to God Vision.
Yeah, super gang right there. Super gang.
Yeah. So
gang activity.
I told you I was going to talk about what I call the tough truths. People just call them sad truths, but this is something that is a reality that a lot of people need to hear. Maybe a tough pill to swallow. And I don't come on here and have topics like this. A lot of the topics that we have are controversial, whatever, but it's to get perspective and to understand reality. There's perception versus reality. There's things that we perceive to be true, and then there's just reality. And one of them is find something you love to do and you'll never work a day in your life. That I've heard that so many different times, and it's like it sounds great. It's like, yeah, then that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna find something I love to do, and I'm gonna be good. Whether it's 9 to 5 or I work 5 hours a day, whatever it is, I'm gonna find something that I love to do, and I'll never work because I love doing it. But the reality in that is not everyone is going to find something that they love to do. Like it's really hard to find something that you love to do, especially when people hear that, they start looking and searching for what it is that they love to do instead of allowing it to come to them. And that's when it becomes just like you forcing your hand to, oh, I kind of like this, so let me force it. Let me pursue this, and then I'll learn to love it, and then I'll never go through that stress of working. But
Yeah.
how do you feel about that comment, that find something that you love to do and you'll never work a day in your life?
I agree with it like maybe 75, like 70, 65, 70%. I mean, I think if you do something, if you're fortunate enough to do whatever you love to do, you know what I'm saying? And like you're able to monetize that, then like for sure, like, you know what I'm saying, have at it, like do your thing, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I think a lot of people go into these situations and they don't have plans. So I think planning is like a really big part of like chasing whatever goal you're going after. I think if you don't have a plan, then it's going to be realistically, it's just going to be hard to achieve because you don't have something written down concrete that you want to hit, like those marks you want to hit for whatever specific goal you have. So I mean, I don't know. I would say like me personally, I've kind of gotten to the point now like the money isn't something that really matters to me. Like it matters, obviously, like I want to be able to make money off like what I do, but at the same time, like it comes from a genuine place of just loving what I do, you know? So I don't really run into like the dilemmas most people have when they're trying to find something. I think I'm happy I found what I loved early, you know? I think a lot of people go through life not really knowing like what they're passionate about. And you can see like they kind of have those internal battles with themselves. And a lot of times, I mean, they'll project. So like you might have whatever you do that you really love and they see you doing it and they can't really accept it. Or like they become jealous, you know, because you found whatever you love to do and they still searching. So I mean, sometimes, you know what I'm saying? People go through that. Like That's a real thing.
And talking about, I want to go back to when you said to be delusional about what you're doing. Real quick, we got a question. How do you stay inspired through creative blocks?
Inspired. That's a great question. I think it's important to give yourself breaks. I think creatively, like you can kind of burn yourself out if you're just working all the time. So I think just giving yourself breaks to like kind of live life and to do whatever you need to do. And just, I don't know, just live, man. Like you can't be inspired if you don't live. So, I mean, part of it is like working really hard and like the work ethic of it. But then at the same time, you gotta live life, and like you'll find inspiration through life and just situations that you go through. Like talk about real things. I think in my own personal music, like I'm really just transparent with whatever I'm going through. And I apply it to like the music, you know, and just put out like my music for me, they're like, my albums are like different time periods in my life. So whatever I was going through at that specific moment in my life, that's what I write about in that project, and just whatever I'm putting out like at that moment. So y'all hear everything I'm talking about. You could probably piece together like the stuff I'm talking about just based on like the lyrics and like the tone and just what I'm saying. So I mean, that's how I get through creative blocks as a writer and just an artist.
And this next question that we have is definitely a segue into what I'm going to talk about next, and that's solely, you know, entrepreneurship. And so right now, are you still working your 9 to 5?
No, my last day, my last day was last Friday. So yeah, I'm a free agent. I'm just out here now.
You're just out here. So tell us, before we get into that, tell us how that feels. How that feels to, and tell us how it feels and why you made that decision.
I'm not even gonna lie, bro. When I woke up this morning, I looked at my alarm and it went off, and I just hit snooze and went right back to sleep. I ain't gonna lie, that I ain't felt that in a minute, man. Like 3 years. So I mean, it kind of felt good from that point. But then at the same time, like I still got up and tried to make some money today. You know what I'm saying, on my own. So it's a liberating feeling to not really have to work for anybody and to like be able to schedule your days out. But at the same time, you just gotta stay productive, you know, and just keep your days busy. That's what I'm gonna try to do. That's what I've been doing as of lately, just trying to keep these, like even with it being like the first week that like I stopped working, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm still technically working, still trying to get to the money, still, you know what I'm saying, do whatever I gotta do to take care of myself and just to handle the things that need to be handled, like bills and all that. So yeah, I'm hustling, man.
Yeah, I feel that. And so let's talk about this real quick, diving into entrepreneurship. So when did you realize, okay, you had a vision for, you know, for God Vision, and being a artist and an entrepreneur and working a 9 to 5? You had all these things at one point. How did you transform into, okay, yes, I'm an artist. Yes, I have music. Yes, this is what I'm doing. But now I'm transferring. I want to transfer to get into this entrepreneurship space. What did that look like for you, and how did you make that transition? And balance it all, because you did it all while working. There wasn't a time where you just.
And in college, like I think I remember going into college, like when I had first like started applying to schools and all that. What I specifically wanted to study in school was entrepreneurship, and there were very few schools that like had that specific major. And you know what I'm saying, everybody kind of fall into that route when they get in school, and they go through business, like the business courses and all that. And I was taking like business classes, but then again, it's like, I ain't really messing with this. Like, this isn't necessarily like what I want to do. So I remember, it was 2016. I was living in the townhouses on campus in V4, and me and my roommates, we was just talking, and I was starting to come up with like the next idea from like my next big album, my first real big project in my eyes, like, you know what I'm saying? And just like the vision I had, I wanted to have a platform just for basically really just me and my friends, the people that I think are dope, and you know, help put them on. And that's really like how God Vision started. And I came up with the name 2016. I had the logo since 2016. So I released like merch and all that last year, like last summer, but I've had those specific logos for like 4 years now. So like, I think I was really waiting on the time where I felt my music, the quality of my music and what I was saying caught up to like my vision. So I think I wanted to like sharpen my skills just as an artist before I started going super hard with like running a business and like just everything that entails running a business, like going into that, entrepreneur lane. I wanted to make sure my skills were sharpened up just musically before I started to pursue that.
Right. And that's big. What you just said is making sure that what you're talking about, and excuse me for lack of a better term, unless there's another term, but value. Like you wanted to have so much value in what you had to say and what you were doing that when you launched something, it was it was that it was something that people were going to want to tune into, and
Yeah.
something that you can be proud of, not just throwing something out there just to say, oh yeah, I got a business, oh yeah, I got a brand, or oh yeah, this is me, right?
Yeah, nah, we on something right now. That's all I'm gonna say. GV God Vision, we on something. With the vision, man, like we on one right now. We hitting a lot of different marks, man. A lot of different goals right now. So you know what I'm saying? It was well worth the wait. I say that.
Yeah, worth the wait. Y'all hear that? Worth the wait. Take your time. It's not a rush. Like our generation, we are in search for instant gratification. We don't understand that. I'm not gonna say we, but like a lot of us, don't understand that it takes time. And me too, I get impatient. I want to get to so many things or get to so many places, not for me, but for others, so that I can take care of all my folks. But understanding that it's one step at a time, it's one day at a time. But we talked about the vision, but how has it grown and what are your goals? What are your next moves?
Um, we've grown a lot. We got 4 artists on the label right now. I got a whole team under me. Shout out to everybody that's on the God Vision team. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we've grown a lot over the past. We launched 2019, around late November 2019. So I mean, I think we've gotten a lot accomplished over the past like year and a half, going on 2 years. As far as future plans, I mean, there's more music, networking more, getting involved with a lot of different, people within the industry, bringing on a couple more artists, under the label, and just really growing like as a family. Like all the people I have on the label that work with me, these are my dudes, man. You know what I'm saying? These people that I know will go to war for me, and I do the same. So I think just growing as a whole unit and making my platform bigger so I can serve others. I think that's, what I'm saying, the main goal for me. I want to put myself in a position to be successful too, but then I get that same satisfaction, like putting other people on, or like having my friends like work and do something and making them a part of like a staff or faculty. And we all doing something we like, man. We all doing something we love, something we rock with, something that, you know what I'm saying, we ain't really like, it don't feel like work. Like there's aspects of it that do feel like work, but that's what anything you do.
Right.
But I think something that you can go in every day and saying you love to do and you wouldn't rather do anything else. That's my biggest goal, you know what I'm saying, for everybody I have around me.
So specifically entrepreneurship, there's things that has to be done. And if you're doing something by yourself, you're only one person. You can only do but so many things at once.
Yeah.
How do you go about selecting a team? Because that's just like selecting your friends or selecting, but this is even bigger because it's your time, your money, your livelihood. How do you go about selecting a team of people to continue your vision and trust them and responsibilities and whatnot? Because that's a huge pillar of entrepreneurship, is being able to run a business effectively, efficiently.
Yeah, I think for me, like, to be honest, I'm still like battling through like not having to do everything on my own. So like, I do have a team. Like, we got probably have like 12 people that work with God Vision, like officially. But I still find myself like, and they'll like some of my guys will tell me like, I still find myself trying to do everything and having my hands in everything. I think I hold so much like care and value with God Vision that like I gotta really trust you in order to have you on, in order to bring you on. You know what I'm saying? But I think with selecting people, it really just happened organically for us. Like I said, a lot of the people that work with me, known them through hoops or just doing music, or I've known them for like a good bit, like outside, like in just real life. You know what I'm saying? It's like these are like my real life friends.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think when I initially had the conversation with everybody, they'll tell you like Man, this is something I'm trying to do for the rest of my life. Like, I'm not really taking this lightly. And I know how much work I'm gonna put in, and what I in my head, I know what needs to get done. So I mean, a lot of that stuff, man, like you got to get people to um, buy into the vision. So once I was able to get everyone to buy in to the vision, and I put forth the effort and like got the ball rolling and started working, and they could see like how serious I was taking it, I think that's what motivated everybody else to like go as hard as I'm going. You know what I mean? Because if I'm not going hard, who else is? You know what I'm saying? You gotta be the one to put your foot down first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean, we got a whole, like I said, we got a whole team of people. Shout out to Q, Ellis, Delonte, Jordan, Truman, Mo, Dre, Ryan, Drew. You know what I'm saying? We got a whole plethora of people, man. Shout out my boy Dreddy. Like, we really got a whole bunch of, a real good core.
Yeah. So like some more things that go into, we talk about the 9 to 5 minds, right? I'm not trying to work a 9 to 5. I'm not trying to be here for 8 hours, blah, blah. But what about entrepreneurship? Is there a time slot from 9 to 5 that you're
No,
working?
no. The hard pill for people to swallow. People complain about a 9 to 5 job, corporate America, but at the same time, if you're an entrepreneur, you're literally on go 24/7. So like, people have to get some type of perspective on like what being an entrepreneur entails. So like, you can't say you don't want to work a 9 to 5 job for that's 8 hours of your day, and then you can't say you don't want to do that, but then you want to be an entrepreneur, and then you don't want to put the work in and do what it takes to be successful and run a business. Like, there are nights that I've lost sleep or like just didn't go to sleep and got right back up after like 2 hours of sleep and went to work for 8 hours and did the same thing. So like, the whole idea that like, you know what I mean? Like, people want to have some type of schedule. They want to be able to schedule and control their day. Like, that's cool. But then like, a lot of people don't understand like how much time that really is, and how much like effort and how exhausting that can be trying to run a business, because it is very, very, very exhausting.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's something that people got to hear, because they think it's like, oh, it's something that we could just pick up. It's something that I can do when I want.
You can, but you can't pick it up. Like, you gotta have proper preparation for all this stuff. So I mean, like, even if you want to start your own business, like, I would suggest, just having a plan laid out or a general idea of like what you want to do, and hit certain goals that you can achieve within a certain time frame, and just find ways to like grow just as a company, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you're trying to do, but a lot of people go in blind thinking it's going to be sweet, and it's really not like that. It's really not. And some people not built. Some people not built to run a business. Like, you gotta be a leader. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be accountable. You gotta communicate. You gotta do a lot of the. You gotta set a lot of the foundation and heavy work, and do a lot of the lifting starting off.
Yeah.
So, man, a lot of people not built for that. They can't withstand that. You know what I'm saying? That's real pressure.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I said, pressure make diamonds though. On the right person, pressure make diamonds, man.
For sure. For sure. And that was one of my tough truths, is that not everybody can be a business owner. Not everybody can withstand or do what it takes to build their own brand, to build it from the ground up, from nothing to something. Like, you think about these billion-dollar businesses, these Fortune 500 companies, they started from scratch. Some people started with $0. Some people, inherited money from their family, but you have the different kind, and even with money, you still have these problems of, who can I trust? Who's gonna build my software? Who's gonna do this? Who's gonna do that? It's not simple. So just 9 to 5, the mindset, that's why on the flyer, mindset was the thing at the top. It's the mindset to be able to have the mental capacity to go through and persevere through all of those things. But now that we talked about it, now that we kind of have a big scope on that mindset and the topic, let's talk about us as African American men and women, specifically trying to build business and even those who are not business owners supporting one another. How do we do better at that? And this is, I've heard a few things that kind of throw me the wrong way, and something that I actually heard on a show was that we will go and spend money at, you know, designer stores, right? Go up to the register, spend money, designer store. Oh, it's $300, cool. But I see an entrepreneur or a black business, I go up to the register, hey, you got a discount? You know,
That's one of the most disrespectful things to ask.
right?
Like that.
$30, but $30 for, hey, give it to me for 20, bro.
Nah.
20. Like my man just launched his own like clothing brand, whatever, and he was like, you know, you get one off the strength, off the arm, whatever. But it's like, nah, yeah, I appreciate that, but it's, I could easily took it, whatever. And everybody don't have to do this, but it's not, bro. Here's your bread, because this is your value. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is you, who you are. I'm gonna pay for what it is that you got, and I want to highlight that, or speak on that. Have you speak on that, and how you feel about that, because that's something that's big.
I think the biggest thing is really just supporting each other. I think a lot of times, like, we catch ourselves like just not supporting one another, you know. It At the same time though, as a business, like it's a two-way street. So I think it's supporting people, but at the same time, as a business, you got to make sure you're giving out like the proper customer service and like high level like customer service. So whatever you're doing, just make sure it's high level, so people can't question like why it might be priced a certain way or why are you doing whatever you're doing, you know. And then I know just people supporting the vision. I mean, like I said, you gotta get people to buy into whatever you're doing, and it is not easy, and it's hard to compare yourself to like these well-established like companies and all that. But you know what I'm saying? It's just work. Like, you gotta work. And then, you know what I'm saying? I think as a community, just for Black people in general, like, I think we do a good job at supporting each other most of the time, but I think it could be better. I think, you know, nobody's really, I think we need to stop questioning like people that have products and they might be priced a certain way or priced at a certain point. They need to stop questioning them on why it's priced like that or whatever they got, whatever service they doing, like, and just go ahead and support, because they don't question like companies like Gucci. Like, let's say you shopping for clothes. You're not questioning Gucci, you're not questioning Christian Dior, Chanel, none of them. Birkin, what's that? What's the first jump? The Telfar jump. You're not asking them why a shoe might be $1,000, but you're gonna buy it if you like it,
Right.
because it has a name behind it. They built the brand. So I think, you know what I'm saying, and it's a lot that goes into like whatever you're doing as an entrepreneur. Like, it's a lot more money being spent than you're actually making, and that's what people don't talk about. I mean, I know for us, like me personally, like I know for our label, I won't get into like specific numbers, but like I spent a lot of money last year on like the album, the merch, and like whatever else we was doing to make to barely break even. You know what I'm saying? So I think and the average like consumer or like customer is not gonna think about that. You know, that's not something that crosses their mind. You know what I'm saying? So I think just people having that in mind, that like a lot of times like these businesses might be losing a little bit more money than they might be making, just being conscious of that and just supporting them, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's a great point. But I want to touch on the fact of what you said about accountability, right? You have a product, you have a brand, but it's up to you to bring that same energy to the table every time. And you know, I launched a brand or something that I'm trying to make into a business to support myself, but I find myself inconsistent at times, going away for 2-3 months or whatever the case may be. That's not, you know, acceptable. If you're trying to build something, if you're trying to establish a foundation, you gotta have accountability, hold yourself accountable for what it is. Like, it's certain people who say they have a product or service, right? And or even trying to get on the show. I've had people like say, "Oh, my bad, bro, like something came up," but like not until the day before or the day of, or you know what I'm saying? It's like, how do you do business like that? So if you're coming on here to get, and I'm gonna shout you out, I'm gonna do all of that, but you're you're telling me that, oh, I can't even if I didn't forget doubt of success. What if I wanted to take advantage of your product or service? I'm not doing that anymore after, the excuses. So it's accountability at that point.
And I think a lot of people too, they can't like, they think just because like you they mans or like y'all friends that they can like not get over, but like kind of manipulate the situation a little bit. Like whatever you got going on, or like, oh, that's just Dev, like, oh, that's just Ty, like he ain't gonna trip, you know what I'm saying? But nah, like this is something I take very seriously. I do not take this lightly. Like I will tell if you know anybody that knows me, and they will tell you, I do not take this lightly. Whatever I'm doing, like this music stuff, this label, you know what I'm saying? Everything I got going on, like I do not take any of this lightly. Like this is something like I'm willing to like put on the line, like put everything on the line for this. You know what I'm saying? So I think, and it's not a lot of people that have that sense of urgency. Like I think, like to be a business owner, like you gotta have a sense of urgency. You gotta want to get stuff done. Like, and that comes with just being consistent. I mean, if you really want to do it, you're gonna find a way to do it. And that's just how I view things. It's very hard for somebody to talk me out of that mindset. Like, if you want to get it done, it can be done.
Right.
I've watched people literally right in front of my eyes, like do things that others might have said was impossible. They've done it, or like have found a way to like make it work. You can make it work if you want to make it work. So, you know.
It's just last point. What is your advice? What do you say to people when they feel like they get to a point where they're not as productive? You feel like, oh, I'm not doing something, so I'm not advancing. Because a lot of times we think, oh, I'm not doing, so I'm not making any progress because I'm not doing anything right now. How do you coach somebody up, or what's your advice on just staying locked in and understanding that that's not always the case? Because you will drive yourself crazy, you'll stress yourself out and put yourself in a hole with that mentality.
I think like with people like caught in those types of situations, it's really to just keep your eye on the vision. Like I'm gonna keep saying that, you know, I mean, and just finding like different ways to like accomplish different things. So there's a lot that like entails just running the business. And it's not always just the heavy hitting things. Like a lot of times it might be doing research on like a particular topic or like subject, or just something that can help advance your company or whatever you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's really like for me, I know me personally, like I always have just, even if I'm not recording every day, like recording like at all hours of the day, I'm doing something music involved throughout the day, or like something to move us forward just as a team, or just like something, you know what I'm saying? So I think as long as you have like the big tasks you need to accomplish as well as the small ones, and you can kind of balance like whatever you need to get done and just hit small goals, and then hit small goals that'll lead up to the big ones, then I mean you'll be straight. Like a lot of times people think like they got 2 or 3 jumps to get wherever they want. Nah, like this is a grind. Like it's a lot of little stuff and the small details that people might not pay attention to or think are that important that really can like make or break whatever you're doing. Yeah. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? It ain't always about like the super big extravagant stuff that people might see online or you might want to talk about and boast and like, you know what I'm saying, show off with whatever you're doing. A lot of times it's the small stuff. So I'm just do the little things. You know what I'm saying? Our coach used to tell us this in college. And it's crazy that a lot of this stuff, like given the situation, like whatever people we was going through in school, like it's crazy. Like a lot of these sayings and stuff, like still ring off in my head today. You know what I'm saying? So like it's the little things, it's details. You cannot win if you don't concentrate on all the details. And that includes the small ones. So, you know, it's just really, and you gotta want to do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? If there's something you claim to be passionate about, then you gotta just do it. You gotta find ways to do it. Like you gotta just, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Get it done.
Somebody in the chat, asked for me to answer this question too, and I can answer this question. I'm just be transparent with y'all. Like throughout my, I guess, life, I've always been busy. Like I've always been doing something. My mom kept me busy. I'm always in school, always in sports. Something. She's always pushing me to do something in school, extracurricular, SGA, whatever it may be. When I got to college, at Wesleyan, my first 2 years, I wasn't really doing too much. I was in SGA or whatever, but it was nothing serious. I just hooped and played and went to school. But when I went to my second school, Salisbury, what wasn't I in? And I felt like I was at the point where I needed to set myself up. Like if I wasn't doing something, that's kind of why I asked the question. If I wasn't doing something, then I wasn't getting any better. Like I had to be in all the different clubs. I had to put my hand in. I had to paint my brand around campus because I knew I wasn't going to get this done by myself. I wasn't going to get to where I'm going by myself. So I need to build that network, that connection. I need to get this skill here. I need to get this from there. I need to gain some more knowledge other than my own. So when it comes to the question, how do you tell somebody to not even just relax, but to understand that if you're not in full steam ahead, then you're not in making progress. That's not necessarily true. But I fight that battle with myself consistently because it's either I'm doing too much or too little. I don't know how to create that balance where it's like I'm doing just enough. I feel like if my schedule's not full, we got a problem.
That's a gift and a curse too, you know. Like I go through that. Like, man, I gotta work. I don't know what it is. Like I gotta get it done. So like I feel like if I'm not being productive, at least doing something that involves like whatever my dream is every day, then I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm not progressing. But I'm a workaholic. That's just me. Like a lot of people know how to like schedule and like time manage and like balance that. But I mean, like at the same time, I'm not in it to do like just enough. Yeah. Like I want to be the best at whatever I'm doing. Right. I want to be, you know what I'm saying, the guy. I want to be him. Right. Like doing whatever we're doing, you know what I'm saying? So like I don't think you should even go. I don't think a person should even go into the mindset with like, oh, I did just enough today. Like, you know, like I just got by. I don't want to just get by. Yeah. Like I want to blow everybody out the water. You know what I'm saying? I want to make this like bigger than what I could even imagine. You know what I mean?
That's fact.
So.
And advice for the youth other than that, keep going. Keep going. That's from Quentin. But yeah, bro, like all the things you said are definitely spot on. I commend you from seeing, you up in V4, back up, you get too close. You know what I'm talking about. That's something that a song, whatever Ty was working on, it just always stuck in my head because we hearing the songs in the background. We're like, what is going on? Like he keeps saying the same thing, keep playing it over and over and over and over again, trying to master it, trying to complete it. But definitely commend you, bro, for doing your thing. You're creating a label, a record label, founding CEO of a record label, doing that 9 to 5, setting yourself up.
Then we don't want. God made us. I can't see the sun. You're talking about, man. Big vision.
Look, man. Hey, look. So because you want to do that, hey, give us a little sample of the song that's on the video for us.
Oh, what do you mean?
You know what I mean, bro. The song, take us out, bro. Give me a little bar from the song that's on the video for this intro.
So what's a good bar from that joint?
Man, it could be
the first joint for real. It's like I still battle with this 9 to 5. But I know it's people in satellites. My salary dope, been on hold, and I hope that'll rise. I'm working this gig that doesn't feed my ambition. Updating resumes, searching for a transition, but I'm not corporate. That's high key like a corporate progress. I'm staring at the screen, but that's not where my focus at. I've been working on this dream like skyhooks from McKean. I told my mom and dad, but they not really listening. What'd I say? It was like, want me to have 401k with some benefits. And I'm not thinking think about future, not present tense. I never learned a lot from history, but fonder than presidents. My Mount Rushmore rap artists never looked up to presidents. But Obama was my nigga, yeah.
My God. Hey, Ty, look, bro, I appreciate you for doing this for me, dog. Anybody got questions for Ty? Any motivation, anything? Because he's really doing it. He's really setting the stage. His music has definitely progressed. Anything, any questions, comments before we wrap up?
I'm saying him. We're talking about Big GV. Shout out Terry Q and Libby going crazy in the chat right now, man.
Yeah.
Big gang thing is going on right now.
anything you want to say, bro? Anything you want people to be on the lookout for? Your music, your brand, your label, anything.
And we got a lot coming this year.
Where can they find you? Where can they follow you at?
So y'all can follow me at Tatom the God on Instagram and Twitter. TyThomDagaw. And then y'all can follow God Vision, GOD VZN on all platforms. We got a lot of stuff coming out, though, a lot of different music, merchandise coming out soon. This week, I'm gonna make a cool announcement. But now it's a lot. We got a lot of different artists coming on, you know. It's about to get real fun, you know.
Yeah.
So
I get it.
Yeah, it's him having so much fun in 2021. But no, it's a lot of stuff, man. We ready for 2021. You know, the summer, fall, all that. So
yeah, I appreciate you, bro. Again, good luck moving forward. You know, we always locked in. Appreciate everybody for coming on tonight for episode 8, 9 to 5 Minds. Remember, we build, we create, we inspire. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good evening.